Hi, good day all. Asa from Creative Fairy Designs. Thank you very much for joining me. In today's project, we are going to upcycle a file folder and make it into a journal with printable journal pages, pretty pages with two signatures. It's pretty quick, pretty simple, so stay along with me and let's enjoy this creative process. So I'll just show you quickly what we've done. I've attached a pretty charm to the front, and this is an organza ribbon for the tie. It opens out like this, and I've made a nice cute little flap that flaps out. And this is the inside, which this is fabric. And to the side here, this is a tiny piece of decorative strip. And these are two lace pockets to the side. And over here, I have two signatures that we have attached on with a piece of string. And as an extra reinforcement, after attaching it with string, I've added craft paper and also attached it with some Fabitac just for extra reinforcement for those who don't like to sew. This is a no-sew journal, and we have two signatures. These are printables. You can feel free to add your envelopes, coffee dyed paper, etc. I will do that at some later point in time. I'm just going to flip through quickly and show you so you can just print it and join along as we go through this creative process. So stay with me and let's get started. And these are the printables we are going to be using for this journal. You can send me an email if you're interested in the printables. It's free. I'll just do a quick flip through, a very quick flip through because it's a lot of pages. We have nice, pretty, varied images. Most of them are floral because our theme is a shabby chic pink. And who does not like a shabby chic pink? And there's enough journaling spaces in them. And these papers were printed on ordinary A4 pages, apart from four of the sheets, which is the first four that I showed you. The first four were printed on photo paper. And these pages were printed double-sided on regular A4 paper. This is the other set, and there's sufficient journaling room, really pretty images. I mean, when you pick up this, you will not want to stop writing your thoughts, ideas, dreams, aspirations, whatever it may be. Some of them are busy and some of them are not that busy. I've tried to include a variation of mediums to be used, and these are the last four that were printed on photo paper, and this is because these last four is going to hold the signatures, which I will show you in a short bit. And we are continuing along. There is going to be two signatures in this journal, and each of the signatures is going to contain approximately 15 pages. And of course, later on, as we go along, we're going to be adding our flips, our pockets, our tags, etc. This video is just to show you the journal making process. And I do hope that you can subscribe and join me. So as we go along in later videos, we will see how this journal comes together. So at the end of it, we will have one complete journal. So do send me an email so you can have these printables. You can print them out on ordinary paper, use it for commercial use or whatever use. You may print it on photo paper. Really nice images. And it's really unusual images that has a mix of Renaissance, Victorian flowers, etc. Some of them are really simple. And together with the journal pages that we are going to add, these are the book pages that I'm going to use, and we will decorate them as we go along later. Really nice and simple. Cute. This is really nice design. And this one is a dictionary page. that I printed this design on, and I will show you that on another video. Like I said, this is just the process making of this journal. In later videos and more future videos, we will do everything. So at the end of it, we will have complete journals. And now we're going to cut the pages for our journal. And this is how we're going to cut it. So these two here, our journal is going to fold over like this. And to the other side, which is like the wallpaper side, you cut it around these edges. And you don't have to worry about trimming off anything. It's designed in such a way that nothing will be cut off. Same here, this will be the journal pages. So the other side, you cut on this side, cut right around. Again, this is the wallpaper side. And to the other side, this is where our journal pages will be. So we're cutting on the other side. Some of the pages are smaller in length. Like when you cut it, you would see like it's maybe about a difference of 1/2 centimeter. And I want it like that to add character to our journal. Let me show you how I put my two signatures together. The inside page, we use the one with the cardstock for protection when we start to seal our signature. And the last page as well, that is the one with the cardstock. All the pages in the center is the one that we use with the ordinary A4 paper. So like I said, they were in different sizes. So I have a long and a short. It's not that much shorter. It's probably like 1/2 centimeter round on each corner. So I put like a long and a short, short, long, short, long, see, short, long, etc. And this way, when you fold your signature together, you don't get a jagged or protruding edge. And then for the second signature, we do the same, but the one with the photo print, the photo paper that we printed in front and the back. Do the same, make sure it's the one with the photo paper. And in the center, we put all the other rest with A4 paper and we place it along the same way. A short and a long and a short and a long, just to add that texture and contrast. And then we're going to fold it in half. And that is our second signature. We are going to be moving on to the next part, and this is making the base for our fold over. It's really going to be a fold over folio or a wraparound junk journal because we are going to be using a combination of 5-folder, book pages, and fabric to create this cover. So these are our signatures, our two signatures that we had put together, and it's going to fit in like this, and then we're going to fold over like this. So I'm going to give you the measurements. So using one file folder, we're going to cut off these two tabs here, cut them off, these two tabs. Then we're going to measure 6.5 inches, draw your line because that is where we're going to score. 3/4 inches for the spine. Again, we're going to score there. You don't have to draw a line. You can score without drawing the lines, but the lines are going to be covered anyways. 6.5 inches to the back. And then our fold over flap is the remaining portion, which amounts to 3.5 inches. And then our signature is going to go in here. So go ahead, cut it out and score it. I'm going to quickly show you how I do my scoring. You can use any sharp device, credit card, scissors, any other medium. I'm just using a bone folder to get that crisp edge. So I place the ruler where I have my drawing. I use the edge of the bone folder and just crease it over right where the line is for that guidance, and I score it. You can use a scoring board. I think it takes too long on air and I don't want to keep you all too long. So after we scored all the edges, we're scoring here where the spine is and the end, and over here. This is going to be used as fold over pockets. Now the next step is to cut the bottom part of the fold over pockets because we don't need this piece, which is the edge here by the spine. and our pockets will fold over like this. We also need to make a tapered edge, so just draw a tiny little slant on both edges and cut it with the scissors. You're just going to have to trust the process, because even though we are using upcycled material, we do want a nice, clean, sturdy journal. So then we're going to cut this part here as well. And do the same. Draw two tiny slant corners to taper the edges. And trim it off. And we have completed the base for our journal. Now we are going to do some reinforcement. The spine area and just this fold over area, and for this we're going to use craft tape, just regular craft tape. So just take a piece of craft tape and stick it to the inside of the spine. Press it down and just reinforce back your folds. Take another piece of craft paper, and we're just going to do this corner here, because this is going to be for our flap. And when we're opening and closing the journal, we will be using the flap and the spine a lot. Just cut off a little bit here to the edge. And we have reinforced this. And now we're going to place a piece of fabric inside our file folder. The fabric is going to run from here to here. We're going to leave the flaps as is, because we're going to put a piece of lace. And this is the fabric that I've chosen. It's a nice, pretty, floral pink and cream, which will match really nicely. It's from a dress. It's from my daughter's dress. So I'm going to cut it 2 mm short off the file folder. Just a tad bit off the edge, because we want to put a piece of lace trimming later on. And now that we have our fabric cut, we are going to glue it down. And for this, I'm using the Fabitac because it's a fabric glue. It's best to use a fabric glue for this. Apply a thin layer. And it's fine if the edges are not quite straight, because like I said, we are going to add a piece of lace around the edges. And this is a bit of a stretchy material. So depending on the material you choose to use, just stretch it as necessary to ensure it fits and it's not crinkled, that it's all neat on your file folder. And if you're enjoying this video so far, I'm happy to have you. Please subscribe, and there's lots more journaling and lots more exciting things to come, and I would love to have you. So tape it down straight to the edge, straight along, straight to the edge. Now we're going to add the attachment for the flap. So like I said over here, I'm just showing you so you can follow along with me. Over here we're going to put lace. It's going to fold like this. Our signatures are going in, and this is our flap. For our flap, this is what we're going to use to cover our flap. This is a template. This is the design that I have created. Anyone interested in this design, please send me an email. It's free. And if you don't wish to use this design, use your own design, send me an email as well. I can then show you how we're going to stick it on. So when you cut your flap, it's going to fold over like this. So there would have been some excess fabric that would have been cut out. It's fine, because like I said, we are going to add a piece of lace. Just going to trim off here a bit. And also, I forgot to mention earlier on, there would have been a flap to the end here, a fold over. Just cut that piece off because it's not necessary. And I'm just going to restick back the edges a bit of the fabric. And now we're going to add our signatures. And now we're going to place the signature in our journal, and I always use a no-sew method, and I use this twine. I've used this before in my previous journal to do our binding. It's a no-sew, so I'm going to show you. It's pretty quick and simple and easy. So remember, we had left 3/4 inches between here. That is going to be for our spine. So we're going to place our two signatures right in here into the slot here. So we're just going to do one signature at a time. And this is the first signature. Remember, the pages are uneven. We wanted it to be like this. We wanted it to be uneven to give that nice texture to our journal. So the first thing we do is place the signature exactly where we want it. I think just about there will do. And then we're going to make 2 holes. And you can use your awl tool for this. I'm using a scissors because I find it works well. An awl tool works just as well. Remember, we have the reinforcing tape. So just place your hole. First hole right there. Then place your second hole. So what I have done at the edge of the twine, I have placed a little bit of Fabitac glue, or any glue would work, just to harden the twine so it's easier to go through a hole. You can just place the awl tool here as a guidance. Then come to the back. Remove the awl tool. Take your twine. and pass it through. And it goes straight into. Do the same for the other side. Come to the back and pull it straight through. So follow along with me while we insert the other signature. Make sure it's the right way up. It is. Okay, so place it next to the other signature, right next to it, because you want it to line up together. Hold it in this position. Take your awl and just insert 2 holes. But we're going to do 1 hole at a time, just so we can place our twine through. And this is the twine that I'm using. I've hardened the edges with some Fabitac so it's easier to go through. And we push it from the outside inside because we're going to tie a knot. So as we remove the awl, we're pushing the twine. So what I did was pull the thread up from the cover through the fabric, and now I've hardened the edges. Like I said, I've used Fabitac at the edge of the twine so it's easier to insert. It's not that soft. Of course, the option is available for those of you who wish. You can sew it. This is just a method that I chose. And I just want to repeat this for those of you who tried this project with the twine. If you're doing it with the thread, it's fine. Thread is pretty thin. If you're doing it with the twine is a bit thicker than thread. So take your time because we do not want to tear our pages. In this case, we have used regular printing paper. I think it's 28 pounds or 20 pounds. If you use cardstock, you can be a little more firmer, but for this purpose, if you do try it, take your time. This is the longest process to get our journal completed and looking nicely without tearing. So I'll show you again. I'm up to the last couple pages. Sometimes when you paste it with the awl tool, see the tiny hole is there if you can see on the camera. But sometimes the paper is still blocking it. So if you try to force it through, you can't tear the paper. So just gently clear away that piece of paper and pull it through. Even if you do 1 page at a time, it's fine. It's even better because at the end of it, you will have all your pages intact. And you will have a nice way for a no-sew journal for those of you who do not wish to or do not like to sew. So just flip it over. And pull the thread tightly. Make sure it's pulled in the back. Pull tightly. Fold it over. Make sure it's firm. All the pages are firmly together. Bring it together and tie a knot as tightly as possible. And then you can trim off the excess. And I like to do this extra step, which is to add glue. In this case, I'm using Fabitac because it's twine and I want it to hold strongly. And use your bone folder and press it down. And this way we have added an extra enforcement to our journal. So now that we have finished attaching our signatures, we are going to do some reinforcement. So the signatures are pretty sturdy as it is, but I still like to reinforce it. So we have already reinforced here with some craft paper. Now we're going to reinforce the back as well with craft paper. Craft paper holds it down really well and it's quite affordable, and we are going to cover the craft paper, so don't worry about it. So I've cut my craft paper into half lengthwise, and then the craft paper is going to go right behind where we would call the spine area, where the twine is as well, to give that extra reinforcement. And you can use your bone folder to press it down. And now we're going to place a piece of lace over our pockets and then stick it down. So use a Fabi tack. Just use a piece of cream lace because it matches nicely with the file folder as well as the fabric. Do the same for the other one. And then trim the laces off at the edges and tape your pocket down. And this is a piece of fabric that I've chosen. It's a pretty fabric to attach to the spine. So I'm just going to place Fabi tack right around. It's a thick lace coated embroidery satin. And attach it around the spine. Ensure to cover the craft paper that we had applied earlier on. Doesn't have to be perfect. And just seal it down with the bone folder. And this is a piece of trim that I'm going to use to run right around the edge of the file folder. You can use lace or any material that you have. I particularly like this one, and this is how I want to place it, only around the edge of the folder, like maybe halfway. As you see, that tiny bit poking through. So I'm just going to apply one and then do the rest off air just to save time. I don't want this video to be really extremely long. So I'm just applying one so you can see what I'm speaking about, and then I'll do the rest off air and come back with the finished product. And when it closes, you see that tad bit poking through the edge, and I think it looks really pretty. So I've gone ahead and added the trim right around like I said I would, and it looks really pretty. And this is how the inside would look. We've covered around the edges, and it does not take away from our journal. You see how pretty it is? Okay, so now we're just going to attach the covers and the closure, and we have completed our journal. Just one thing, and I just wanted to add this for contrast. This is a piece of twine, and this is also the twine that I use for binding as well. I just take a strip off. It comes in maybe about 7 strips binded together. So I just wanted to reinforce back this tiny fold over flap here, and also give contrast to the journal. So I'm just going to add this right here. I'm going to apply some Fabitac. I'm going to apply some Fabitac. Place it around. It almost looks like a burlap twine. In fact, I think that's what it is. It's called a burlap twine. And now we're just going to add the printables. And for this, you can use regular glue because it's paper. Oops. And this size fits perfectly. And for those of you who are choosing to use your own paper, the measurement for this is 9.5 by length and 5 3/4 by width. And we're going to attach this piece. And like I said, if you wish to have this template, just send me an email and I will send it straight to your inbox. And you can just cut it out and use it on your own scrapbooking paper, or use the same design if you wish. There's no cost. Take the bone folder and press it down. And now the very last thing to do is to attach the enclosure. And as we have come to the end of the video, I hope you have enjoyed it. Please do subscribe and drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. And I have, for this, I'm going to use the organza ribbon. The pink I thought would match really nice with the cover. So we're going to fold it and maybe like 3/4, 1.5 to 3/4. And take the loop and pull it through the eyelet. I've applied an eyelet to the flap. And this is where we're going to pull it through. After we've pulled it through, we're going to bring both ends into the loop, just like this. Gently and easy. Pull it through. Looks like a bow. And this is what we're going to use to tie our bow. Piece around, so bring the longer piece around to the end and let it meet this piece in front. Tie your bow. Right to the front. We have completed our journal with our closure.